Deacon Hale was walking the closed bypass with smoke in his mouth and one hand pressed to the torn seam of his pack when the tunnel lights came on ahead of him. They did not flicker up by halves. They arrived all at once, a hard white line inside the mountain, two even and two awake for a road the county had abandoned behind concrete blocks and rusted orange gates. The light reached out of the east mouth of Tallow Ridge Tunnel and laid a pale rectangle across cracked asphalt, weeds, and old lane paint. Every other public thing for miles had gone dark because the wildfire on the far side of the ridge had taken the main line down before noon. Yet the sealed tunnel burned, as if someone had been waiting inside it. Deacon stopped beside the ditch. He was not a man who startled easily, but he had lived long enough by reading wrongness that he never punished himself for noticing it. Lights in a sealed tunnel meant power. Power meant a generator, a battery room, or someone with reasons to be there. It meant water might be somewhere near the old service buildings, and it meant danger might be closer than water. His canteen had been empty since the previous night. The truck that had dropped him on the bypass had left a bruise across his ribs and diesel in his clothes. The driver had taken him on for $20 and no questions at a feed store 60 miles south, then asked for muscle when the truck stopped by the closed ridge road beside 3 black drums under a tarp. Deacon had seen the gloves, the nervous check of the mirror, the way the driver would not say what was inside the drums. He had said no. The answer had bought him a shove, a fall against the tailgate, and a pack flung after him with one shoulder strap torn loose. He had been a Navy SEAL once, though that fact had become less useful than strangers imagined. It did not fill a canteen. It did not repair shoes. It did not stop a sheriff from moving him along from a culvert. It only left habits that survived the loss of everything else. Count exits. Check wind. Notice whether insects have gone quiet. Trust a shadow before trusting a story. The smoke was moving downhill from the west in slow folded sheets. It carried the bitter smell of burning laurel and plastic fencing from the evacuation line. The old bypass still cut straight through Tallow Ridge like a forgotten answer. 2 lanes into black rock, 2 lanes out. People said the tunnel had been dead for 10 years, too unstable for traffic and useful only to bats and teenagers with spray paint. Now every ceiling light inside it burned. Deacon moved forward along the ditch instead of the road. The concrete blocks at the portal were streaked with lime and red clay. Someone had dragged one aside just far enough for a person. The lock on the chain had not been cut. It had been opened, then snapped closed around nothing. Dust near the gap held recent tire grit and one small shoe print, with the heel worn smooth on the outside edge. A smear of dark blood marked the concrete. From inside the tunnel came the smallest breath. He entered without calling out. The first stretch of Tallow Ridge Tunnel had been painted in pale enamel cracked into islands. Glass lighthousings ran in 2 rows along the walls at shoulder height, older than the high fixtures hanging from the crown. The ceiling lights threw such flat glare that the wall lamps became blind rectangles. Beyond the first row, the tunnel disappeared into whiteness. Deacon kept to the right wall. Behind the third low light housing after the emergency call box, the darkness was not empty. It was shaped like a bent knee. He walked 2 paces past it, stopped by a peeling sign that read, "Use low beams," and spoke to the wall. "I am not with them." No answer. "My name is Deacon. I need water more than trouble. If you are hurt, tap once." The generator hum filled the tunnel. Then a small voice behind the light said, "You should leave." The voice belonged to a girl, young but not tiny, tightened by fear and command. Deacon kept his hands where she could see them if she leaned out. "I was trying," he said. "You walked the wrong way. Often happens. Do not turn around fast. They look for moving heads first." Deacon felt the air on the back of his neck. An engine above the ridge road stopped. Men did that when they wanted to hear. The girl eased her face into the edge of the glare. She was black, maybe 12 or 13, with close braided hair caught in red rubber bands and smoke streaks on her cheeks. One sleeve of her yellow sweatshirt had been ripped from cuff to elbow. The low wall light in front of her hid most of her body. Anyone standing in the lane would see only a bright rectangle, not the child pressed into the service slot beyond it. "How long have you been there?" Deacon asked. "Since morning." The word had distance in it. Her mouth was dry. Her eyes had adjusted to brightness the way prey adjusts, not by comfort, but by necessity. "Hurt?" "Not enough." "How many men?" "2 I saw. Maybe 3. 1 truck. 1 4-wheeler. They put barrels by the west fan room. They thought I ran out. I did not." "Why were you here?" Her jaw set. "Shortcut. My auntie is at Milehouse Camp. Fire people moved everyone there. I was at the library when they closed the town. The main road was blocked. I knew this tunnel came out by the camp road. It used to." "And you found it open?" "I found them opening it." A metallic knock carried from the west side. The men were coming back. "What is your name?" Deacon asked. "I'm not giving you my name." "Fair. They said you were dead in the road. I disappointed them." She almost looked at him then. "I am Amara Stokes. If you are lying, I will bite you." "Understood." The old service panel stood beyond the emergency call box, its cover open. A modern orange cable ran from deeper inside and clamped badly onto the old bus. The breaker labels were stamped metal. Crown lamps, wall beads, west fan, drain heat, exit markers. Someone had forced every lighting breaker up and tied them with insulated wire so vibration would not trip them. Deacon slid his small folding knife under the wire. It was not the kind of knife men in bars expected a former SEAL to carry. It was enough. A flashlight beam cut across the east mouth. "Hey," a man called. "You in there?" Amara shrank behind the light. "That light hides me," she whispered. "It hides you from close up," Deacon said. "From far away, it shows which side of the tunnel your shadow belongs to. It will be black. Only at first. Old tunnels remember darkness better than people do." She stared at him, measuring him against terror. "When I say, keep one hand on the wall and crawl away from my voice." The flashlight came nearer. Deacon's thumb found the main lighting breaker. Now. Amara vanished behind the housing. He pulled the breaker down. The tunnel went black so completely that the afterimage of white lamps remained in Deacon's eyes like hot coins. The generator coughed as the load fell away. Deep in the mountain, something clicked once, then began to turn with a low, relieved groan. Wind moved along the floor. The man at the mouth cursed. His flashlight stabbed the dark too high, searching for a standing body. Deacon slid along the wall on one knee. Amara made no sound. After half a minute, a dull green line appeared near the floor. Tiny ceramic markers, invisible under the glare, holding light the way old bones hold heat. Arrows emerged in faint paint. The tunnel had indeed been built to remember darkness. "Breaker blue," the man at the mouth called. "Then fix it," another voice answered from outside. Deacon reached the recess. Amara's hand found his sleeve and gripped hard. "Do not stand," he whispered. "I was not planning to." A vertical slot opened behind the sixth low light, no wider than a locker. Cold air breathed from it, wet stone under a bitter chemical smell. "Is this the break in the wall?" he asked. "Yes, it goes down. Then we go down." He found a hanging chain inside, pulled, and a hidden panel opened inward behind the lamp housing. Amara slid through first. Deacon followed, dragging his pack after him, and lowered the inside latch just as the flashlight struck the wall outside. They stood in a space too narrow to be a room and too finished to be an accident. The floor was a steel grate over moving air. The right wall was raw, damp rock. The left wall was the back of the tunnel's lamp line, exposed housings and wire raceways running in a row like ribs. A green stripe continued along the grate at ankle height and bent toward a short stair. A metal strip riveted to the rock read, "Lane 0 Black Walk." Under it, in hand-painted letters, someone had written, "When crown lamps fail, hands low, feet slow." "What is this?" Amara whispered. "Service walk, maybe more." "Can they open it?" "Not unless they know where the latch is." "Do they?" Deacon thought of the barrels near the fan room. Maybe. Maybe is not a wall. No, but it is better than the lane. They descended to a maintenance bay behind the public wall. It held a bench, 2 metal cabinets, a hand pump over a drain, and a round, thick glass window looking into the main tunnel. Beside the window hung ceramic discs painted with symbols instead of words. A hand, an eye, a cup, a fan, a falling line of dots, a black wedge. Amara went straight to the pump. Deacon stopped her with a raised hand, not touching. He worked the handle until brown spit cleared to a cold, clean stream, tasted 1 drop, waited, then filled the chained cup. She drank too fast. He took it after the 3rd gulp. Slow. Her eyes flashed. Fast comes back up. She obeyed because thirst was stronger than pride. He drank after her, 2 measured swallows that hurt his throat with relief. The cabinets held cracked hand lamps, hardened smoke cloths, flat woven line, ceramic chalk, a rubber mallet, and metal cards strung on rings. The cards were not diaries. They were instructions for frightened hands. If lights fail, do not relight until air test. If chemical smell, close low drain and open high exhale. If west fan pulls east, do not enter main bore without wet cloth. Check child ledge between wall lamps. 12 to 19. Child ledge? Amara read. Where you were hiding. They built that for children? They built it because children end up where plans say they should not. She touched the card, as if it had changed the shape of the morning. She had been hiding in a place made by someone who had known she might exist. A red bead glowed over the fan symbol. A needle behind cloudy glass shivered toward a painted mark labeled "Wrong Pull." The old system was speaking in pressure. The bright lights had been eating power while the tunnel's deeper lungs struggled. "The west fan is dragging air the wrong way," Deacon said. "The barrels are there." "What did you see?" "One had warning skull stickers. The short man said the fire would cover the smell. The other said the county would blame old runoff. One barrel had a crack near the bottom. A wall map behind yellowed plastic showed the public lanes in black, lane 0 in green, service rooms in red. The west fan room lay 300 yards ahead, connected to a low drain that ran under both lanes toward a creek below Mile House Camp. Above it, a shaft labeled High Exhale climbed toward the ridge. Between them was a chamber called Drain Knee. The danger became practical. A cracked barrel near the fan room would leak into the low drain. If the fan pulled east, fumes would move through the tunnel and perhaps through the drainage toward camp. If the wildfire crossed the ridge, heat would make the wrong draw stronger. The tunnel could either save its own air or spread poison through it. "We have to leave," Amara said. "We have to close that low drain first. My auntie is at camp. Then closing it matters." Her mouth trembled once before she stopped it. "Do not use her to make me brave." Deacon absorbed that as if it were a command from someone older. "You are right. I will not. You can stay here with water and the door shut. I can go west. You walk like your side hurts. It does. And you are old. Less true, but I will allow it. Then I'm going. I know where the blue paint starts. I counted when I ran." They soaked smoke cloths, tied them over their mouths, cranked one-hand lamp to a narrow amber glow and moved west through lane 0. Deacon went first with one hand along the rock, one testing the grate. Amara followed close enough that her breath touched his wrist. Through slit windows behind the wall lamps, the main tunnel showed itself in pieces. A fallen ceiling tile, dead fixtures, flashlight cones from men still near the east panel. The blue paint began as a dusty stripe waist-high on the hidden side. The air sharpened with chemical smell. A ladder shaft rose beside them, pulling air downward when it should have been exhaling. Deacon held a wet finger to the draft. "Wrong pull," Amara said before he could. "Yes." "Can we fix that first?" "Low drain first. Liquids obey downhill faster than air obeys good intentions." The drain knee was a half-round chamber below the black walk, where two concrete channels met under a steel grate. One carried clear seep water from the ridge. The other came from the west fan room. A black film slid on its trickle. Over the channels hung a heavy curved gate, controlled by a wheel painted with white and black wedges. The pointer stood at open low drain. The instruction plate read, "Turn until pointer black. If wheel will not turn, clear comb. Do not stand over channel when gate drops." Deacon tried the wheel. It shifted an inch and stopped. "Comb," Amara said. The comb was a row of iron teeth guarding the slot where the gate would fall. It was clogged with leaves, road grit, melted plastic, and a branch wedged crosswise. A hook tool hung under the plate, where a worker's hand would find it. Deacon lay beside the grate and dragged out the blockage, while Amara held the lamp low. Fumes pressed through the cloth. His eyes watered. When he leaned too far, Amara caught his belt. "Do not," she said. "Good catch. Useful words only." They tied the flat line to the branch and pulled together until it came free with a sucking sound. Black liquid surged against the comb. They turned the wheel in hard pulses. The gate dropped through the channel with a heavy gulp. The black film piled against it, and a higher bypass opened, sending clean seep water over the sealed drain toward a catch basin instead of the creek line. The red drain bead faded to amber. Amara coughed into her cloth. "That helps camp?" "It keeps the worst of it from draining there." "The worst is still here." "Yes." "I hate when yes is the answer." "So do I." Above them, a metal bang echoed. Not machinery. A door. The men had found a way into the service side. Deacon killed the hand lamp. The green floor marker stayed faint. A flashlight appeared far down lane 0, too high and shaking. The man holding it did not understand the black walk. "Little girl," he called, "you are making this worse." Amara's shoulders rose. "He wants your shape," Deacon whispered. "Do not give him your name, your answer, or your speed." The ladder shaft stood between them and the approaching beam. It climbed toward the high exhale hatch, the same shaft pulling air the wrong way. Staying meant the men. Climbing meant smoke and uncertainty. Amara looked up. He will not look up first. Most people don't. She started climbing. Deacon followed, ribs burning. The shaft narrowed above them, lined with sweating glazed brick. At the top, a round hatch with a wheel handle pressed against gray daylight. The instruction strip had nearly flaked away, but open high exhale remained. Below, the man reached the base of the ladder. His flashlight climbed. "Well," he said, "there you are." Panic moved across Amara's face. "On 3, Deacon whispered. "Hit the spring dog with the mallet. Clean, not hard." She lifted the rubber mallet. 1, 2, 3. The sound was small and perfect. The spring dog jumped. Deacon turned the wheel with everything left. The seal tore free. Outside, wind punched the shaft. The draft reversed so suddenly, it pulled dust upward past them. The hatch opened onto a sloped concrete apron hidden among laurel near the ridge crest, and gray daylight poured in. The man on the ladder cursed as air rushed past him. Amara crawled out first, then caught Deacon's pack strap, steadying him more by choice than strength. He rolled onto the apron, coughing, and lowered the hatch to 3 inches, enough to vent, but not enough for a body. Below the slope, the west fan room door stood open. 3 black drums sat beside it under a torn tarp. One lay on its side. Dark liquid glistened at its bung. A man in a green jacket stood by the truck, looking toward the smoke and then at his phone. "That road goes to camp," Amara whispered. "Can you run it?" "Can you?" "Not fast enough." "Then, we make the tunnel too much trouble to stay in." They moved low through mountain laurel along the slope above the west portal. Ash fell in soft gray flecks that looked too gentle for what made them. At the base of a rock outcrop, Amara found a waist-high concrete pillar with a steel cap stamped with the falling dot symbol, Deluge Comb West. The cap required a triangular socket. Deacon had no key. Amara opened her fist. Inside lay 3 ceramic discs she had taken from the board. One had a triangular brass peg on its back. "I took them because they looked useful. That one is very useful." They turned the cap together. Inside was a valve wheel and a glass tube half full of water. The plate read, "Open only after high exhale. Check low drain closed. Turn to rain mark. Stand clear of fan throat." "We did those," Amara said. "We did." They turned the wheel. For 5 seconds, nothing answered. Then pipes under concrete knocked awake. Brown spit burst from a row of holes over the fan room. The holes cleared. A sheet of water fell in shining vertical ropes across the doorway and over the drums. The green-jacketed man jumped back, slipping. The leaking barrel hissed where water cooled its side. From inside the tunnel came a shout and a cough. The water curtain did not solve everything. It made a boundary. It changed the terms. The men could still lie and return. The chemicals still existed. The fire still moved. But the tunnel had begun defending its own lungs. A siren sounded faintly far below the ridge. Amara lifted her head. Fire trucks. Likely. Not maybe. Likely. The hatch behind them bucked. The man below was pushing. Deacon found a small crank inside the deluge pillar. A cable ran from it to the portal arch. He turned it once. Something above the road clacked. Red metal flags flipped out from an old warning sign. "Do not enter." Air wrong, water on. He turned faster. A mirror plate swung loose and caught dull daylight, flashing toward Mile House Road below. A horn answered, one long blast. Amara's eyes filled before she could stop them. They saw. Somebody saw. The hatch sprang open. The big man who had climbed after them pulled himself onto the concrete apron, face red, pry bar in hand. He held no gun. Deacon checked that first. A pry bar was still enough. "Get away from there," the man wheezed. Amara stepped behind Deacon, and he shifted, so she had a clear line to the laurel. "Tunnel is venting," Deacon said. "Drain is closed. Water is on. People saw the signal." The man blinked against smoke. He was broad and younger than Deacon expected, with chemical stains on his work pants. "You some kind of inspector?" "No." "You do not know what you touched." "I touched the parts with labels." The man's grip tightened. The simplest thing for him would have been to swing the bar and make frightened people more frightened. His face went through the calculation. Then the green-jacketed man shouted from the truck, "Moss, come on!" Moss looked at Deacon, at Amara, and at the water falling across the fan room. Anger thinned into fear. "You got no idea what men like that will do." "What men?" "My boss, the hauler. You think I own a truck?" Amara's voice came clear and shaking. "You still chased me?" Moss flinched at the accuracy. Then he ran downhill through the spray, slipped once, recovered, and climbed into the truck as it reversed down the service road. It took 2 drums under the tarp and left 1 under the water curtain. Deacon did not chase. His body could not. More importantly, the tunnel still required attention. Men leaving were not the same as danger leaving. They returned through the high hatch. The shaft now breathed upward properly. In the maintenance bay, the fan bead had turned amber, the drain amber, the deluge green. A new bead blinked red beside cistern low. Amara saw his face. Water curtain is using the tank. Yes. How long? Not long enough. The old call line terminal near the east service panel was not a telephone, but a crank, an earpiece, and brass holes labeled East Gate, West Gate, Mile House, Road Yard, Ridge Lookout. The instruction card read, Place peg, ring 6, listen past static. Deacon placed the peg at Mile House and cranked 6 times. Static filled the earpiece, then nothing. He cranked again. A voice came through, tiny and buried. Mile House command. Who's on this line? Tallow Ridge Tunnel, East Black Walk, Deacon said. We have 1 injured minor, 1 adult male. Chemical drums at West Fan Room. Low drain closed. High exhale open. West deluge active. Crown lamps disabled. Need fire and hazmat at West Service Road. Medical at East Portal. Do not enter main bore with lights. Repeat, do not relight crown lamps. Identify yourself. Deacon Hale, former Navy. Civilian, Amara Stokes is here. A pause. Then an older woman's voice broke in, strained thin. Amara? Amara Renee Stokes? Amara took the earpiece with both hands. Aunt Lissy? Her face tightened, as if she had been holding herself together with wire, and the voice had cut it. I am here. No, not the bad part. I am in the tunnel wall. There is a Navy SEAL man with taped shoes, and he is strange, but useful. She listened, then said with sudden authority, Do not come in. Tell them do not turn lights on. The dark part is safe. The bright part buys. When Deacon took the line again, Incident Command asked if they could maintain deluge. He looked at the blinking cistern bead. Not full open. Is there someone there who knows this tunnel? County records list Tallow Ridge sealed and inactive. Deacon looked at the cup, the pump, the status beads, the child ledge card, and Amara standing with her torn sleeve and set jaw. County records are wrong. The voice did not argue. The map showed a pressure balance chamber above the bead house, accessible through a crawl labeled Rain Clock. The rain clock could reduce the water curtain to pulses. The crawl was too small for Deacon's shoulders. Amara saw where he looked. No, I did not say anything. You looked at the small door. It may keep the water running long enough. I went through small spaces all morning. I know. I hate them now. I know that too. She rubbed her palms against her sweatshirt. What would I have to do? Crawl 20 feet up a sloped duct, find a round plate with 3 painted marks, move the pointer from full rain to pulse rain. Do not touch bare wire. If water hammers above you, freeze until it stops. That is a lot of if. Yes. Can you pull me back? He held up the flat woven line. If you tie in and keep the line under your shoulder, I decide. Yes. Not because I am little. No. Because I can read, and I know where my hands are. Yes. She tied the line around herself. He retied it without comment, making the loop broad under her arms, and gave her the small hand lamp. She crawled into the duct and disappeared into dust. Deacon fed line slowly. The space above him ticked with pressure. It smells like pennies, she called. Metal and water. Keep going. There are spider webs. Charge them rent. Not funny. Noted. She reached the plate. The latch stuck. He slid the rubber mallet up the duct. She tapped once, twice. The latch clicked. Water hammered above them like a fist along pipe. The line jerked as Amara froze. Dust fell from the panel. "Stay still," Deacon called. "Let it finish." The hammering faded. "I did not drop the lamp," Amara said, voice small but intact. "That is useful." "I know." The pointer moved to pulse rain. She backed out shaking, face gray under dust, anger in her eyes because terror had been given a job and completed it. The deluge bead changed from steady green to blinking green. Far down the tunnel, the water curtain began to cycle. On, off, on again. Enough to keep the fan throat wet without emptying the cistern in minutes. The fan bead turned green. They had just closed the rain clock panel when a new sound reached them from the east portal. A child crying. A woman in an evacuation vest stumbled into the tunnel mouth, carrying a toddler, with another child clinging to her pack. Smoke rolled behind them on the old bypass. A fallen tree must have blocked the lower detour. They had come seeking the same impossible shortcut Amara had sought. The woman saw the dark tunnel and stopped. Then the toddler coughed hard enough to decide for everyone. Amara moved before Deacon spoke. She opened the hidden panel behind the low lamp and leaned out. "Do not come in the road part. There is poison air. Bring the little ones to the wall. Follow my voice." The woman stared as if a girl appearing from behind a dead tunnel light might be another danger. "My name is Amara Stokes," Amara said. "Move!" The name worked. The older child slid through first after Amara told him the secret sidewalk was made because regular roads get stupid. The toddler came next, hot and coughing. The woman scraped through last with a cloth bag. Her name was Patrice Wynn. She asked 5 questions at once. Deacon answered only the useful ones. "Stay low. Drink slowly. Do not touch switches. Public lane unsafe. Help coming." Patrice looked at him. "Are you fire rescue?" "No." "Police?" "No." "Then how do you know?" Amara lifted her chin. "He turned the lights off." The maintenance bay changed with more people in it. It became a room full of breath, thirst, and responsibility. The chained cup became a schedule. The ceramic discs became work for frightened hands. Amara gave the eye disc to the older boy and told him to guard it until someone else needed to see. A status bead near the east panel began to blink amber. East seal. The hidden panel they had used was not latching fully after so much traffic. If smoke thickened at the east mouth, it would leak into lane 0. Amara stood when Deacon did. "What now?" "Door we used is leaking." "Of course it is. It needs adjustment from the public side. The bad side. East end is less bad. Wet cloths. Low and quick." "I am going." "You do not have to." "I know. That is why I can." They slipped into the dead public lane crouched below the smoke. Without the crown lights, the tunnel no longer looked like a road. It looked like a long stone instrument marked for hands. Green dots led under the lamp housings. Faded arrows appeared where glare had hidden them. White handprints, painted at knee height and nearly invisible before, faced the direction of exit. "They look like people saying this way without shouting," Amara whispered. The service panel had sagged on a lower hinge. A screw had backed out and jammed under the frame. Deacon held the panel while Amara lay flat and worked ceramic chalk under the screw head. "Quarter turn," he said, "then pull." "That is useful." They freed the screw and set the latch. Smoke pressed against the sealed seam, then slid past into the public lane. The amber bead inside changed to green. As they turned back, a figure appeared at the east portal, large in a respirator, helmet lamp cutting a cone through smoke. Deacon raised one hand. "Stop there. Crown lamps stay off. Main bore not cleared. Use wall panel." The responder froze, then signaled behind him. East Blackwalk located, Amara whispered. He listened. For now. He better keep doing it. The first crew entered low and slow through the hidden panel. Their captain, a compact woman named Celine Yarrow, took in the maintenance bay with one sweep and did not waste breath, pretending it was not real. Who operated these systems? Deacon pointed to Amara. She set the rain clock. I closed low drain and opened high exhale. West deluge is cycling. Crown lamp bridge removed. Captain Yarrow looked at Amara. Not over her. At her. You set pulse rain. The latch stuck. What did you use? Rubber mallet. Not hard. Clean. The captain nodded once. Good work. Amara looked away because praise was another bright thing, and bright things needed managing. More crews came. Patrice and the children were guided out through the Blackwalk. Amara refused to leave until Aunt Lissy spoke again over the line and promised she was waiting at the east gate. Before medical took her, she insisted on carrying the metal instruction card with the child ledge note. Captain Yarrow photographed it first and allowed it because she was either wise or too busy to argue with the wrong person. Deacon expected to be moved aside, questioned, perhaps thanked vaguely. Instead, Captain Yarrow handed him a meter. Former Navy, they said. Former a lot of things. Can you stand another 10 minutes? Likely. Then walk me through what you changed before my people touch it. So he did. He showed the main breaker, the cut bridge, the bead house knife switch that kept all crown lamps dead, the low drain gate, the high exhale hatch, and the rain clock route. Amara corrected him twice from the bench. The captain accepted both corrections. Outside, crews reached the west fan room through smoke and pulsing water. They found one leaking drum cooled and contained by the deluge, the low drain closed, the catch basin holding black water that would have gone toward the camp creek. They found the generator wired into the crown lamps and shut it down properly. They found tire marks, glove prints, and a dropped invoice with a hauler's name under mud. The men in the truck did not vanish into legend. They became descriptions, directions, partial plates, and later arrests. But that was not the tunnel's main story. The main story was that Tallow Ridge had not been empty. It had been waiting with instructions. Near evening, Aunt Lissy reached the east gate under an emergency blanket and ducked under the tape before anyone could stop her. She was tall, ash in her gray hair, with the expression of someone who had spent hours imagining every possible loss. Amara saw her and became smaller for the first time all day. Deacon looked away because some rescues did not need witnesses. When he turned back, Amara was holding out a metal card. On its back, etched in neat capitals, was a list. Nightwalk testers, O.C. Marr, Harlan Pike, Ruthie James, Calvin Stokes, Bess Rude, Ansel Nim, Jory Vale. Calvin Stokes was my great-granddad, Amara said. Aunt Lissy said he fixed road signs and never trusted new paint. He had good hands, Deacon said. The deeper story did not come from a diary. It came from working evidence. Burned shadows behind the bead house showed where a tunnel fire had once scorched the wall. Rolled calibration strips under the pump showed how long luminous markers remained visible after blackout. A training note on the back of one strip said, "School group after bus smoke. No panic if hands kept low." Patrice remembered an old family story about a church bus trapped in Tallow Ridge before she was born. People let out through a maintenance seam after bright systems failed. The official plaque by the new bypass thanked the highway department. It did not mention Lane 0, child ledges, rain clock, or the workers who had turned darkness into a route. Maybe Lane 0 had been unofficial. Maybe it had been too embarrassing. Maybe it had simply been maintained by those who understood it until sealed gates, retirements, and budgets thinned memory into rumor. Amara touched Calvin Stokes' name. He did not tell us. Maybe he thought he had time. Old people always think they have time to tell the best parts later. Captain Yarrow stood beside Deacon at the portal, while medical checked his ribs despite his protests. You need transport? Eventually. To where? He looked down the bypass. Smoke had hidden both directions. That has been the problem. She studied him. I need someone for 72 hours who knows what got touched. Paid temporary, bad coffee, worse paperwork. I drift after 72 hours. Amara, still wrapped in Aunt Lissy's arms, heard him hesitate. Not today, she said. Today was not a place, but it could start one. He stayed. At first, staying looked temporary. Deacon helped Captain Yarrow map Lane 0, so crews would not ruin what they didn't understand. Aunt Lissy brought him used boots from a church closet and said Calvin Stokes would haunt her if she let a man walk service grates in taped shoes. Patrice returned with her children to give back the eye disc, though the older boy insisted on placing it himself in the ceramic board. The toddler called every hand lamp a moon. 72 hours became a week because the tunnel had more systems than expected. Behind the west fan room, sealed by soot and forgotten bolts, they found a training alcove with smoke masks hung by hand width instead of age. In the roof arch, a weighted shutter had been wired open years earlier, probably by someone tired of its rattle and ignorant of its purpose. Deacon and Captain Yarrow freed it, while Amara read the instruction card from below and corrected their timing. They found no diary. Deacon was glad. A diary would have made one person's memory too important. Lane 0 had been made by many hands and revealed them through patched seams, reachable tools, labels placed where smoke-blinded people could touch them, a pump handle shortened for children, a bench built exactly long enough for 3 small bodies or 1 exhausted adult. Calvin Stokes appeared on calibration strips and sign repaint schedules. O.C. Marr's initials marked the rain clock. Bess Rood had redesigned the child ledge after the bus smoke test, noting in block letters that scared children do not crawl like drawings. Jory Vale had added the handprints after watching evacuees ignore arrows in haze. Official plans showed none of it. Amara came after school when roads reopened. She said it was because the county kept mislabeling things. She brought homework, ate sandwiches on the maintenance bench, and learned the status beads the way other children learned sports scores. She did not crawl into ducts for weeks. No one asked her to. One afternoon, she stood before the rain clock panel for 5 minutes, then said, "I'm not going in today." Deacon said, "Then today, you do not." The next week, she went in halfway to retrieve a dropped screw and came out shaking but triumphant. Deacon slept in the old toll house by the east gate, where the roof leaked over the corner farthest from the cot. He patched the leak with sheet metal from a collapsed sign. Each morning his body woke early, trained by years of leaving before being told. Each morning he had to decide again not to. He made coffee on a camp stove, walked the east portal, checked the service panel seal, read the beads, touched the pump handle, and wrote numbers in a plain log. The county tried to call Tallow Ridge abandoned again in a report. Captain Yarrow crossed out the word and wrote active emergency infrastructure. Amara added, in smaller letters, "Unchecked is not empty." The phrase stayed because no one found a better one. Late in November, after rain finally cooled the wildfire scars, a rock slide struck the new bypass during an evening detour. No one died, but 37 people were trapped between closures, and smoke from a wrecked delivery van began to blow toward them. The county opened Tallow Ridge as an emergency pedestrian passage for the first time in official memory. This time, there were crews, radios, meters, and procedures. There were also frightened people who saw a dark tunnel and balked. A county official reached for the crown lamp switch. People will want light, he said. Amara stood beside the breaker panel in a reflective vest, too large for her. People want lots of things that do not help. The official blinked. Captain Yarrow looked at Deacon. Your call? Deacon shook his head. Not mine. Amara looked toward the waiting evacuees, then at the tunnel, where the green markers would appear only if darkness was allowed to do its work. Keep them off, she said. The crown lights remained dead. The blackwalk markers glowed low and green. The handprints emerged one by one along the wall. Deacon opened lane 0 and stood aside as Amara led the first child to the secret sidewalk. Hands low, she called. Feet slow. The dark path knows where it is going. People entered. Not elegantly and not without fear, but they entered. The tunnel took them through its old working dark, away from smoke, past the cup and pump and beads, under pipes that clicked with water held ready, through a place called Abandoned, because no one with a new map had waited for its markings to appear. Near midnight, after the last evacuee had passed, Deacon walked the public lane alone. He stopped by the third low lamp. Where Amara had hidden on the day wrong, men made the tunnel bright. The cracked milk glass had been cleaned but not replaced. Behind it, the child ledge was empty. Amara found him there with 2 paper cups of soup. You are brooding by my hiding spot. Inspecting. Brooding inspection. Accurate. She handed him a cup and looked at the dead lighthousing. They wanted to replace it. They still might. I told them no. It shows where the glare broke. That sounds like something an adult will put on a plaque and ruin. Then we do not give them the sentence. They drank in the dark beside the dead lamp. Water ticked in a pipe overhead. Far outside, radios murmured. The tunnel, once a white throat, now seemed to Deacon like a held breath released on purpose. Are you leaving when the county hires real staff? Amara asked. He considered the old answers that kept roads open behind him. Maybe. We will see. Nothing is final. But maybe was not a wall, and she had taught him not to use it as one. No, he said. She nodded, as if she had already known and only needed him to catch up. Good. The rain clock sticks when it is cold, and Captain Yarrow hits too hard. I will make a note. And Aunt Lissy says you can come for Thanksgiving, but you have to bring something that is not from a can. That may exceed my training. Former Navy SEAL defeated by pie. History is full of surprises. She smiled fully then, and the tunnel dark made room for it rather than hiding it. They walked back toward the maintenance bay with the crown lights still off. Deacon let Amara lead. She did not need the hand lamp. The green markers were enough, and where they dimmed, she knew to wait, because the old paint always returned if given darkness and time.